Loud. Okay, everyone hit the little got it. Welcome everyone to the December meeting of Bronx Community Board 8's Aging Committee. And as we always do, let's just do a real quick introduction. I think most of us know each other, but let's go. And I'm Lisa Dowd, chairing the Aging Committee.
Myra Joyce.
8. Myra?
Myra.
Myra Joyce. Co-chairing. Rita?
Rita Pactolo, hi.
Right on the board. And Lee?
Lee Chong, board member.
Great. Sharon?
Sharon Asherman, director of the Older Adult Center at the Riverdale Y.
Great, thank you. And our RSS crew, Margie? Oh, sorry, Julie. Sorry. pardon.
Hi, I'm Julie, the Executive Director of RSS Center for Ageless Living.
Great. And Andrea?
I'm Andrea Cassidy, Deputy Director at RSS, the Center for Ageless Living.
And Margie?
I'm Margie Schusdeck. I'm the Director of Communications and Programs for RSS.
And Miriam?
Miriam Rabner, Community Resident and Outreach Coordinator for MJHS, Hospice and Palliative Care.
Judith?
And I'm Judith Green, and I'm on a lot of committees at RSS.
As a community member, so that's great. Thank you, Judith. So, and our guest speaker today, Josue Melendez, who introduce yourself.
Thank you, Lisa. My name is Josue Melendez. I'm the Bronx Government Affairs Officer for the New York City Department for the Aging, or NYC Aging, as they have us saying now, to be a little bit more concise. And I guess, in line with some of the other agencies. Makes sense. It's good to see everyone here today. Good to see some of you again. I believe Miriam and Julia, we have been on a couple of meetings with you before. So good to see everyone today. And I'm glad to give you just a brief update on some of the some of what we've been up to recently. In the email that Lisa had initially sent requesting, I come and just give you a little presentation. She had mentioned wanting, just like I said, some general updates and also some information about our annual plan and also the the Cabinet for Older New Yorkers that had been announced by the mayor's office. So I'll start just with the Aging Cabinet and kind of where that stands. So if you're not aware, the Aging Cabinet was an initiative announced by the mayor's office jointly with our agency to bring together 17 different city agencies, all to work together to address specific issues related to older adults and to find ways to come together and kind of address them in a collaborative manner. So far, they've met twice. And the whole idea is to try and, as I said, come up with unique ways to find solutions to issues that are facing older adults in ways that other city agencies have started doing and other kind of councils have started. So we, for example, serve or work with Department of Transportation on the Vision Zero project. So with other city agencies working to address issues related to traffic fatalities. And our position there is to always represent older adults and to advocate for traffic measures and changes that will positively impact older adults and make it a safer city. So we're taking that same kind of idea, but applying it to aging specific matters and trying to get NYPD, Department of Buildings, HPD, the different agencies involved to kind of see issues through the lens of aging and how their decisions and their actions really affect older New Yorkers. I believe currently the older adults represent about 20% of New York's population. I think it's about 1.3 million New Yorkers. And it's going to go up to, I believe, 1.7 by 2040, I believe is the number that we've been throwing around. So we know it's a priority to really enhance the lives of older New Yorkers and to start making, start prioritizing steps and to be proactive in how we're trying to address some of those issues. So for the moment, they haven't issued any reports yet. I just spoke with with the Director of Government Affairs. He met with them last week, and he did say that one of the things they are working towards is just a general report out of some of the initiatives that they're trying to, or that they're going to be going forward with, and key specific areas that they're looking to address. So we're really happy that we have, like NYPD involved with us. And as I mentioned, Department of Building, some of the other agencies, NYPD in particular. I'm very happy that we're actually trying to work with them so we can try and address some of the issues that we've been noticing with crimes against older New Yorkers. It's been unfortunately something that we've seen on the rise throughout the city. And so them working hand in hand with our Elder Justice Unit, we're really happy for the potential work that could be able to come out of that and to try and come up with new initiatives to protect older New Yorkers. So we're excited about that aging cabinet. It is still relatively new, so there's not a whole lot, unfortunately, to report out of it. But so far, the two meetings that they have been able to come together with, from what I understand, have been very productive, and it has led to a lot of conversations between agencies that haven't been happening before. And that's really what we're trying to do, is trying to eliminate some of that red tape and just the back and forth of communicating and try to really address issues in a faster, more productive manner. In terms of our annual plan summary, I'll send a copy to Lisa so she could forward it to everyone here as well. But we held hearings back in October just to kind of go over some of the general work that we're looking to accomplish and to do with older New Yorkers. It's fairly similar to previous annual plans in that, we're putting an emphasis on our older adult centers and on getting older adults back into the centers. We want to get them closer to the resources and the programs that are really that are designed specifically for them to address a lot of their issues and concerns. We really invested heavily in remote programming and remote resources over the course of the pandemic to try and address to meet older New Yorkers in their homes and where they were, because we realized it wasn't, some people weren't comfortable coming back to our older adult centers. And, now that we have a little bit of a better grasp on the COVID situation, we're a little bit more knowledgeable of how to protect ourselves and how to maintain distancing and kind of keep our centers clean. We're encouraging older adults to come back to our centers and to really start re-engaging in the programming in ways that they were prior to the pandemic. You might have seen our recent PSA campaign. It's called Join Us. So on the buses and trains, you've probably seen some of the advertisements, encouraging older adults to come back to the centers and to really to get back into the social aspect of it. So much of the health that we've kind of been trying to focus on for older adults really relates back to social isolation. We noticed, especially during COVID, how detrimental being isolated is for older adults, and we realized that maintaining those relationships, especially the in-person ones, have a tremendously positive effect on older New Yorkers. Just from some people that I've spoken to during the annual plan summary hearings, a lot of the things that they mentioned was the impact that just being back with other older adults and being in person had for them. I'm sorry, Myra, I have the same problem at home too. So it made me feel really good, the fact that older adults do really enjoy being that in-person aspect and factor of being with other older adults, and the fact that it really makes them feel kind of inspired, to feel joined, to feel like they're a part of something, and not just that they're stopping in, they're grabbing their meals and then they're going back home. It really kind of is connecting them, and that's something that we really think is a huge priority for us. And just in terms of just general updates, I'd spoken with Lisa about this in September. Unfortunately, we had to cancel our pilot program, our funded pilot, similar to Uber. Unfortunately, there was an incident and we were forced to kind of put the program onto hold, and so we started planning out and seeing if there was a better way to go about it. So this is we're really it's unfortunate. We were disappointed that we weren't able to have the program go into the second phase after having such a successful first phase, but it did really give us an idea for the needs of older adults and allowed us to kind of see where some of their transportation issues are and how we can address that. This past August, the City Council approved that there's $3 million in additional funding for transportation vehicles and for meal delivery vehicles throughout the city for different older adult centers. So that's one way we're trying to kind of strengthen and bolster that system. We're really trying to route people to more to other programs such as local transportation programs, Access-a-Ride, and at the same time working with the Aging Council or the Aging Cabinet. One of those issues that we're trying to address is transportation, how we can make it easier for older adults. We do get, unfortunately, a lot of complaints about Access-a-Ride and sometimes the wait times and just some of the hassles and the hurdles that older adults go through just trying to get access to those services. So these are the kinds of things that we're trying to smooth out. And aside from that, I also want to take this as an opportunity to just kind of an idea for some of the concerns that you've been having and that you've been seeing in your general community board 8, and just ways that we can work directly with you, the community board, to try to address some of those issues as well. I look at these meetings as an opportunity to sort of have like a micro aging cabinet with just very, people on the ground level who are dealing with the centers every day and have, more experience with the day-to-day functioning, what's going on, and can really give me a direct view of kind of into the world of aging services and, where we can improve and what we can do to help.
Great. Would anyone or from our centers like to add anything or contribute anything?
Well, I would say that I think it is, I think it bodes well that the mayor did decide to bring back so many city agencies to work together, because I think I'll speak for myself, but I think other aging services providers in the past, we've noticed that aging is really off on the side, and it's the smallest part of the city's budget. We know that.
Yeah.
So again, trying to raise the awareness of other city agencies that even if their focus is in older adults, they serve older adults. So I think it will make us stronger as a city and as a system if this can really move forward and produce results. I know it's in the early stages yet, but
I completely agree. I think
it's
there's
hopeful.
there's so many instances where, because part of my job is also dealing with a lot of constituent issues that come across our agency from community boards or electeds. So more often than not, we have issues that are affecting older adults that don't just deal directly with our agency, but with a lot of other agencies. So, older adults, the issues affecting older adults affect them across a variety of agencies and different subjects. So really getting everyone together to try and find creative ways that we can actually come to real solutions about this, as opposed to, oh, this is a housing issue, pass this over to HPD, they'll address it. We're trying to find like, okay, how can we come together? What programs can we create that could help, solve housing for older adults, or at least create more available housing for older adults and kind of streamline those solutions. So I'm glad to hear that, Julie. I agree. I'm very glad that we're doing this finally.
I want to just chime in too. It's Andrea. Hi, thanks for presenting.
My pleasure.
I wonder, there are other OAC people here, but and I know it's very important for older adults to be together, and that is to improve socialization. Since COVID, though, my opinion, have seen changes in behavior of the older adults. People coming up now into their older adulthood are not so much relying on the day-to-day lunches and activities of an older adult center. So our challenge is really what is the future of older adult centers, and what are we going to look like in the future? To bring them back to where it was is probably almost not real. It's looking to what it will be. And I know virtual programming is so extremely important for so many, and they've learned now how to do virtual programming. It's almost as though that's here to stay. So it's just a comment I'm making, and I know what you're saying. And I think you've heard from other directors that it has for some centers has been a challenge to bring people back. Margie's here; she's our program director. We're finding ways to bring people in en masse, different ways that older adults want to be together, and not on the day-to-day activities, but for the special event type activities. So we're looking at different ways that would attract people. But going back, it really is about what is the older adult center of the future?
I really appreciate you saying that. And maybe I should have worded it a little bit differently. We're trying, we're encouraging older adults to come back because we want to see participation levels that are, similar to previous pandemic. But I think you bring up an extremely salient point, which is that older adult care and the older adult center itself, the structure and, how we give services is more than likely going to fundamentally change after this pandemic, and just the way that we're reaching older adults. Like you said, now that virtual programming has become the norm for so many people, you're finding that sometimes people don't need to go into the centers to get access to those services. A lot of times they can reach that online, and like you said, the finding specific activities or events, we can bring them all together in larger numbers, to kind of encourage and foster that social connection. It might be the way that we can, the way forward. And one of the ways that we're trying to, or that we start encouraging older adult centers to reach out to older adults. But these are the kinds of suggestions that I always encourage people to reach back out to us, because it allows me to go back to, Director of Government Affairs, the Commissioner, and everyone else, and explain to them that, we do want people. Obviously, we want people to get back to centers and access to services, but maybe we should also start looking at it from a different avenue and try to see it as, we should start shifting the way that we are producing services for older adults, the way that we're actually reaching them, so that way the older adult center isn't necessarily the only hub where they can get access to some of those services. How can we make it easier to reach them where they are, as we were doing during the pandemic. So thank you so much for that, Andrea. I really do appreciate that kind of, collaboration, those kinds of ideas of where we're going forward.
Great. Sharon, I think you wanted to speak.
Yeah, so I just want to piggyback off of some of this. One, I want to say that I am thrilled when I get on the subway and I see those ads. It's been a long time coming. I've been doing this for many years, and we've been saying for years and years that how come the older adult centers are responsible for their own marketing when it needs to be done citywide. So it's been great to see some ads on the trains and all over, and I hope it continues indefinitely. I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I actually think that older adult centers are going to come back. I just don't know if we're going to come back in the timeline that DFTA needs in order to continue to fund them. And I'm really concerned. I've worked at this older adult center for 11 years, and I'd say it took 8 or 9 years to get the participation up to the level where I wanted it. And then boom, the pandemic happened. And I think it's going to be a long time coming for them to come back. I think they will. They'll evolve a little bit, but excuse me, but they will come back. And hopefully the money will still, excuse me.
So while Sharon's not there, hi, this is Margie. Hi, and whenever Sharon comes back, I'll stop immediately. I thought that was her coming back. So I just want to piggyback on something that Andrea was saying, and also, a little bit, I think what Sharon was saying. I mean, I think one of the challenges we're going to have is getting people in their 60s and 70s to start to come to the centers, because their expectations of what entertainment and socialization, all of that means to them, I see that like really shifting, even as I'm like just working on the communication side of the job. So really coming up with different kinds of programming is going to be really important, and hybrid programming so that they can sometimes come to the center and sometimes do it at home. But the other thing that we've spent a lot of time on, sort of the way we position RSS, is that we're here the way you want, in a way. We are here in the center. We're online for you, we're hybrid, and we're also in the community. And I just wanted Andrea maybe to talk for 2 seconds about the work that we're doing to try and reach people in the community, and then they become members of RSS, but they're not necessarily in the center, they're in other venues. So Andrea, can you talk about that for a second?
You're muted, Andrea.
Sharon just came back, and then I'm so.
Oh, Sharon back?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm here. I apologize. Today's my first day back after being.
You want to finish before?
Yeah, finish what you were saying.
No, I think I'm done. I can't really talk much longer. Today's my first day back at work after being out sick all last week. So I think I got work in my throat, and I kind of said my piece. Thank you.
Okay. Well, so I'll just take 2 minutes to talk about the community work. I think I've spoken with Lisa about it a little bit. We're in the community now. For many years, we've had a wellness program that is very important to us. It's usually led by a health professional, such as a nurse. And we found that preventive medicine is very important. Lately, what is being touted, and everybody probably here has seen this, is the importance of food nutrition as it relates to health. So we put those two things together, and we, through a grant, we're able to put a team into the community of Marble Hill and Kingsbridge. There are some partners that we're partnering with, including one older adult center where we provide programming, but it's in a faith community and in a community center and an apartment building locally here, Shervier Apartments. So these partners now, with their residents or people who participate, now can benefit from some of the things we've learned in Holus in the way to provide a preventive health program. So we have a team, a nutritionist, a nurse, community engagement coordinator, very involved in the neighborhoods of Kingsbridge and Marble Hill, where huge percentage are Spanish speaking. So the bilingual aspect is very important. So we're providing programs in a bilingually. What we're finding is that people are very hungry for this information. We've had 20 years of experience of providing this type of work. And you never assume people know it all. So we're finding that the individuals that we're reaching 60 and over are participating regularly. We just rolled out and completed a hypertension curriculum. We're going to be doing a curriculum around diabetes. Both were provided because we discovered that hypertension, diabetes, and high cholesterol were the three main, no surprise, three main health conditions that were prevalent to those communities. So that's basically what it is, but it's very well attended and an important kind of work that we believe we're doing.
I would love to partner with you before I let Joshua speak, because we also, MJHS has community-based programs on making one's wishes known, to give people literacy about what's out there.
Yeah.
In the healthcare field, in the arena. If you don't know what's out there, you're not going to ask for it and you're not going to get it. Do you know what palliative care is? That doesn't mean you're dying. It means there's symptom management. So we would love to collaborate with you on educating and bringing stuff forward so that people feel empowered and inspired and have a way to talk to their doctors, to their clinics, to whoever, and to know what to ask for and what they're entitled to if they are under certain insurances, including Medicare, Medicaid.
I think that's really important.
Excellent,
I think
yes.
people don't really know about palliative care. And I think when they hear that word, they think that
It's end of life. It's
Yeah.
not end of
Yeah.
life.
And
You
it's
can have a
not.
hip replacement and you have terrible constipation because you're taking painkillers. You need to know that you may ask for palliative care consultation, and they will help you with the managing that constipation, and they will tell you how to get over it. So we want people to have the knowledge.
Yes, yes.
So why
and that-
why don't Andrea and I follow up with you? 'Cause
Yeah,
I think
we'll
we
follow up
definitely
with
want-
you. We'll have a in-person discussion with you, and we'll invite the community engagement coordinator.
Yes, that'd be lovely. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.
And
So-
just presented RSS. I mean, I think it's a really important presentation for RSS also.
Oh, Myra?
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on top of what we've been talking about a little bit earlier, which is younger, older adults getting to the centers. And I can tell you from personal experience that I live in Skyview. I'm like right down the street from the Y. I am a member of the senior center there. I haven't been there when the Tai Chi class started. I was going, and the other exercise classes. But I never went to any of the programs, never ate there. And I am not sure why, if it's because I'm just ultra busy, but I think I'm sort of representative of the I can't say I'm a younger adult. I mean, I'm 72 years old. So I'm,
But you're still active. You're still out
Yeah.
there, you're busy, you're active, you live a regular life. So I completely understand.
I think a lot is image work that we all have to work on. How do we change the image? It's sort of like ARP, it started, you need to be older to join ARP, and now it's coming down to 50. And there we have that. That's work for us to do. I don't know.
No, I think you're all bringing up very, very important points about spreading information, making sure that people are aware, one, of the resources that are available to them, of what they have, what they can look for, what they can't. I think one of the reasons I think that the Join Us campaign, from my perspective, is so important is just a general reminder to people: your older adult center is there. It serves as a hub for you to reach out to or call us, and we can tell you what your local center is, what services they can offer, and how you can get directly connected to them. But like Myra, like you're saying, we're also dealing with a new generation of older adults who are still active. They're still active, they're still working, that maybe we don't see in some of the 85, a little bit older, for some of our clients who are a little bit more sedentary, who do enjoy coming to the centers for the daily activities. And maybe not for, like in the instance of you would use it to come, maybe get a meal to leave, or just come in for, some people come in for geriatric mental health for one of those services that we offer. So they'll come in, they'll speak with someone, and they'll leave, but it's not about the whole social aspect to it. So these are the kinds of perspectives that I also appreciate, because it allows us to work with providers to kind of come together and to help them craft programming and curriculum that's specifically designed for different types of older adults. Ones who do want to be in the centers primarily, but others who are more active. Maybe can't spend as much time during the week in and out of a center, or spending 3 or 4 hours there regularly. So these are the kinds of things that I like to hear, because it allows me to kind of return and give everyone a basic assessment of kind of where the state of our centers and what our clients are directly telling me. So I really appreciate that perspective.
What we're noticing also is I think that we're reaching some of those younger, older adults online. So they're coming into the things that we want online, or if I have like the Metropolitan Museum come and do a presentation, I'm getting an entirely different wave of people that we then can go back and sort of approach and talk to them about things they can get at the center. So that's, I think, what makes a lot of challenges and a lot of workload issues, I think, for people now, because you're really trying to manage two entirely different ways of approaching people simultaneously, and the hybrid then, which has its own set of challenges on top of it. But I think that's one of the ways to reach the younger demographic is going to be online, and then transitioning them over as they become more sedentary or they're retired or whatever. It's like, now, okay, great, you've been doing that online, once you come in.
Right.
Yeah.
I also find that, I'm sorry, Lisa, I just want to say that some of the younger seniors are not necessarily in the traditional relationships that some of the older groups were. So many people are living alone, and don't even, I'm thinking when I'm filling out advanced directives, I said, do you have any family? How many people say they have no family, they live alone? And if we can give them a network through the senior centers of finding like-minded people and of support and sophisticated programming, I think that would be very helpful, would entice them to come, and would allow them to form relationships that are friends, families by choice, and not so much biological support.
I completely agree. That it reminds me, it's like we want the experiences that you're speaking from, and that some people you've spoken to have been in those positions that they don't have a family necessarily. We want to connect them to a network. They're the older adults that I hope we can turn into the ones that I was speaking to at the planned summary hearings, who the specific drive for them to come to the centers was because they wanted to be around other older adults, because they really enjoyed that social aspect, and it meant so much to them to just be around other people that they could talk to, that they could relate to. There was a woman who spoke, and she said, at the Bronx testimony, she said that, when she first got there, she was very quiet, very shy. She didn't really speak to anybody, but because of the program, because of the people that were there, they made her more confident. She's happier. She's, feeling just more at home amongst the people there. And I think that kind of journey is what we hope to accomplish for certain older adults. But then, like I said, we also will meet people where they are. If someone is busy, if they don't have the time to be, running into an older adult center for multiple hours a day, or if they just want to be able to utilize the services and, go about their busy life, that's totally fine with us as well. We just want to make sure that we are, like I said, meeting older adults where they are, and that we're providing them the resources and the services that are necessary for them to age happily. And the big mission for Department for the Aging, what we've always really tried to preach, is that we want to make an environment and create a city where older adults can age in place, where you don't have to feel the need to go move into a nursing home, to go live with family, where you can live in your own home and be supported and have the resources that you can comfortably do so. And, I think spreading as much information about the resources that the providers have, that the OACs have, that we can provide directly, and just making sure that people are all on the same page about, what is available to them, I think really helps to advance that a lot. I think these kinds of meetings, me giving you just, every updates on what we've been doing, kind of collecting direct feedback from y'all. I really think this is what helps us improve our services and what helps us craft better programming to actually meet the needs of older adults and to bring them directly what they're asking for. I was actually gonna say, I know Lisa has my email address, but I was gonna ask if possible, you could forward it to everyone here as well. So if you wanna send me some recommendations, just some advice, some of the experiences that you've had there, I'm more than open and willing to take those emails and to keep passing them along, and to kind of help craft programming and to really kind of let people know this is what older adults in our centers, this is what our providers are seeing, and this is exactly where they think we're going, and this is how we should meet them in that in that direction.
Jose, one comment. Again, outreach for us is like really important, and
of course,
and we talk about how do we reach, for example, people who go to the libraries, people who go to houses of worship in our community, so that they actually know about these services. If they need to speak with a social worker about, eligibility for programs, they need assistance or food and social life. And I guess maybe one thing we can do is actually visit and drop off information for the congregations. It's sort of a little passive way to do it. But I don't know if New York City Aging has, any kind of materials. I mean, we could certainly put it together ourselves just for our district, but has government ever reached out specifically to houses of worship on what's available to them?
I'm not sure if we directly have done so. I know we've worked with them in the past, like to partner for events and whatnot. But that could be kind of another layer of outreach that we can do. So with the DSC meetings that we host monthly, a lot of times representatives from the public library will be there, for example. So that's a method where we can communicate with them directly, where we can share flyers with them if necessary. Houses of worship, just all we need to do is take the same step, just kind of probably working with maybe with Sierra. She might have access and kind of contacts for a lot of the places of worship in the community. So it can be working closer with the community board, making sure that we're proactive about sending them any flyers, any press releases, and that way they can pass along directly to some of those local partners that we have as well. Because I know flyers sort of describing the services available at older adults, and then we have a general pamphlet that I bring to events. It's this aging pamphlet. I don't know if you can see it, but basically what it is it's a little 3-page fold out that has all the different programs and services that we have and we offer as an agency and that people can get access to through our centers. I can send you, I believe there's a PDF link to that. I can send it to you, and then you can have it available on hand, and we can forward it to other locations. This way they can have it as well. In terms of actual printed versions, I can inquire internally about seeing how we do that. But that's one thing that we'll do. Some of the general programs that we have here, like HiCap, or I believe Silver Stars, which is one of our senior employment programs. A lot of times they'll have their own flyers that they bring to events and whatnot. And it's very easy for us to forward them along to you or to any other providers who are looking to have them on display and just kind of make people more aware. So that way, more information, there's more available for people to read and to kind of look into.
Great, right. Or we could use your flyer and add an insert with the contact information for all of our our centers in the district or something like that.
I actually have, it's funny you mentioned that that is a project that we've all been working on citywide, the different government affairs officers, putting together little lists that we would take with us to different locations that would have all of the older adult centers in a particular section of the Bronx. So I think I divided it up by community board, so I would be able to come to any events in there, and it would just have a little pullout that has every older adult center within community boards. I think I put 8 and 7 together, if I'm not mistaken. I think 8, 7, and maybe 5 and 6, I can't remember. But we just kind of grouped them all together. And so once that's finished, I can make sure I send that out to you as well. We're in the process of trying to get those together and kind of format everything so it looks all right. But that's one of the things that we're trying to do to be a little bit more efficient now as an agency as well. It's that same thing. It's making sure that we can have kind of local specific information. So it's not just, hey, check out your local older adult center. Well, where is it? And then we don't really know, but then we can say, oh, well, if you live in this area, these are the older adult centers in this particular community board. Feel free to reach out to any one of them. It's also includes the address and phone number, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll provide that information directly to people. So those kinds of things we're always trying to kind of get going and work on. But again, this is why I also welcome suggestions, because sometimes there's things that we don't think about, but that a provider will be like, hey, why don't you guys do this? And like, hey, that's a great idea.
Yeah, we in 2016 we put together a whole resource guide, and with all the contact information as well as resources. But it's a huge project. So anything that the city has that's generic that we can add something local to it would be a great help.
No, of course, I think we can. If anything, just pulling together information specific to community boards could be a good start as well. Just a list of these centers are in the specific community board, these providers in this community board, things like pantries, just get it like I said, a general resource guide or a form that an older adult could look at and say, okay, well, if I need help with this is who I'll reach out to. If I'm looking for this is who I can reach out to. Just a solid little bit of information.
Great, thank you. Any other questions for Josue?
Sharon, I see.
So this isn't really a question, this is more of a statement, or that in Riverdale, and hopefully my voice will hold out. In Riverdale, we have an interfaith council, and that, we've never really, I know our agency has worked with them, but we've never really worked with them from the community board or as an aging committee in some way. And it might behoove us to connect with, I don't know if there's a leadership or a president or how you connect with them, but it might be a good way to start those relationships, at least on the local level, while the city's starting it on a larger level.
I completely agree. I think interfaith councils are a great place to start, just because you get there's multiple churches, synagogues, just all together in one location. So that way, and there's usually a couple of leaders, so it's easier to disseminate information, because then once you get it to one location, they can spread it to everybody. So if you want, feel free to share my name and my contact information with them as well. I'm more than happy to kind of connect and see how we can advance older adult services and kind of make sure that we keep this flow of information ever present.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. I really appreciate
Yeah, we appreciate your spending time with us on Monday.
My pleasure. I'm glad to, I'm always happy to come back and speak at different community boards. I think I've spoken, now at least 2 or 3 times to this particular community board. And compared to some of the other ones in the Bronx, you guys are very active, and I appreciate that. I always appreciate people that are on top of things and are genuinely invested, in the older adults and in kind of working with our agency. So I definitely appreciate you inviting me.
Terrific. Thank you. And you're welcome to find us at any time.
Feel free to invite me back, and I'm always happy to give updates and more information.
Great. Thank you, Josue.
Thank you so much. Myra, you have a beautiful cat, by the way.
Thank you. I have 2.
So do you, Margie.
This is the other one.
Oh.
I used to have a cat look like that named Louie. He's very, very handsome.
This is the skinny cat. The other one is 17 pounds, who wants to sit on my lap.
I got one of those running around at home. He's a big boy. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Thank you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Sorry, it got dark here. I had to turn on the light. You can't tell with the Zoom.
I have to get up in the middle.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks. things. Let's see what else. We have a few things. Just a quick thing before we lose the board members. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes of November 14th?
Yes,
Make a motion to
Right.
accept them.
second,
Okay,
I second it.
we have approved minutes. Thank you, because I would forget once we get into more discussions. I don't have a lot to the chair's report, and I don't want to, take up too much of everyone's time today, but just some quick things. There is, and I want to mention it so I could put the link in the minutes so everyone has it, but I learned about a mobility management resource guide that was published in 2021. And it's a guide to transportation, infrastructure, like our streets, programs and resources for people with disabilities, older adults, low income, people with low income and limited English language. It's over 100 pages. So I will share the link. I thought it was great. I shared it with our Traffic and Transportation Committee so they can get the word out too, but it's an amazing resource. So if you don't know about it, you'll have it handy for people. I also learned we were doing, we looked at a lot of the statistics at the New York Academy of Medicine's image system. And we had an outstanding question about our older adults who are in nursing homes in our community. Are they included in the population when we do sort of data searches and cuts? And they are, which is good. They're living here. But I just wanted to confirm that people in congregate living situations are included in the data, which raises an even more interesting point, because in Riverdale, Greater Riverdale, we learned that 60% of older adults live by themselves. And when we add even Inwood, which is outside of our district, or Van Cortlandt, sort of way past the, outside of our district, but it was above 50%. So we have a large population living solo. And so then if our population includes people living in congregate living, I mean, those numbers are probably even higher when we're saying, who's living in the community. So definitely a topic to, for us to, delve into some more. And in fact, what was interesting, I looked, the New York Times had a couple of articles recently about people living by themselves and the impact. There was one on November 27th. If anyone wants it, I could send a link. But so, quote, as Gen X boomers age, they confront living alone. And it showed the huge growth from age 50 above, from 8 million in 1970, this is across the US, to over 25 million in 2020. And, figure going in the future with, fewer children, less marriage, that number is going to grow. So it's definitely a topic to stay on top of. And there was another one on December 3rd, who will care for kinless seniors? That was in the new old age section. And, and especially when, when you think of the issues of living alone, which you all know more about, it's sort of astounding, especially that 2/3 of people, it said, will eventually require help with activities of daily living. And we all know that family caregivers provides a lot of that support. And then there's another issue about affordability for the majority of people. That's it. That's my whole update today. So if anyone would like to add anything about what's going on in your neck of the woods, in your centers, and if you'd like to speak to it, we did learn that the Y, when we were chatting before the recording, the Y is expecting a huge crowd for Hanukkah celebrations. Right, Sharon?
The whole day.
Whole day event.
Yeah, so the Bronxborough president is having his Hanukkah celebration at the Y at 10 o'clock on the December 21st. So everybody's invited to that. And I don't know what in the past, it's been a candle lighting and some speeches, and then like the kids from the nursery school perform, and the whole thing lasts an hour.
So can I just say, the Bronx Borough President is a woman.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
I
You're
keep
right.
saying her, but I am having, because when I think Bronx Borough President, I think of Ruben Diaz Jr.
Right.
Don't think of Vanessa Gibson at all. But
Right. And Ruben Diaz, when he did these ceremonies, he used to sing, and he used to get up and sing in Spanish. Ocho candelabras. So I'm not sure
No.
Gibson's gonna do anything like that.
No, I don't think so. We just sang Ocho Candelitas
Candelitas.
and at the Riverdale Choral Society concert. Anyway.
So Myra, you could perform at the Y.
I don't think so.
Right.
I do not think so.
I just want to say that MTHS Hospice and my colleagues and I, we are hoping to have a two-step little program that starts at these holiday parties, and then we'll have follow-up session afterwards. What we are planning on giving out are small packages with some candy or candy cane, and a healthcare proxy card in them, and some confetti. And we hope then to schedule with the different centers a follow-up session 2 or 3 weeks later, where we meet again with the people and we help them fill out their healthcare proxy cards so that they have time or the opportunity during holiday to speak with friends and families, if they so desire, to really drill down in their head who is going to speak for me if and when, and only when I can no longer speak for myself. So this is something that we're doing community-wide to enhance people. Everybody likes to get a little gift with confetti and candy, but also to follow up and to enable and empower people to put this into a document. And even if it's just a little card that you have in your wallet, that's your first step. So I just wanted to bring this out. If anybody is interested in participating and hosting us after the holidays, to meet with people who have questions, who have problems, who are unattached and unaffiliated and don't even have anybody whom they can rely on to help them, we'd be interested, and I'll be happy to talk to you.
Yeah, I just sent an email to Lisa asking for your email address just to get in contact with you. So
that's okay, Miriam.
we're asking here now.
I was looking for a chat box because I wanted.
I know.
I wanted his contact information too, and I'm looking, and I'm saying, you are a senior, and you don't find the chat box, but there is no chat box.
We had some disruptions and sort of a parallel meeting going on, so we had to sort of cut out the chat as a fallback position. But Miriam, that raised such a great question. I mean, I know I just redid all of my papers, but I think a lot of people think you have to pay a lot for a lawyer just even to do the proxy. And so that's great that you can.
I love that card idea. I mean, you know, I really love that card idea.
And you know what? It's so interesting. You love it too, and I love it. And I gave out thousands. And then I realized, hey, Miriam, where is your card?
I know.
All right.
Right? If something happens to me and you can fall, you could trip, a mild setback, okay? I don't have to stroke out right away in my fantasy. At least they'll look in the wallet and they'll see, oh, we have to call this person. And I filled it out, and I asked 2 friends, could you just sign it? And they said, you haven't done this? You who preach all the time, you've been doing this for 15 years. Yeah. So if you're interested, we're happy. I'm packing packages with candy cane and the card. The card is important. And the thought process is so important. And we were talking about seniors who have nobody, and I work very intensely with the LGBTQ community that's aging now also, and that has cut ties or was marginalized by family, by society, by churches, by jobs. And and to help them find people who will be there for them and who will make tough decisions for them, representing them in a crisis.
Anyone else like to add anything or? Okay, well, I think of this. Oh, one thing I did want to mention is I apologize to people who are not getting notices about these meetings. And I thank you for knowing that our meeting is the second Monday of every month and tuning in regardless. And I think I mentioned it quickly before. I think we switched to constant contact instead of doing our old manual mailing list. And I'm just thinking maybe that's what happened. You can, we do have a new website now that's out, and I will.
One thing is, if you're using something like Constant Contact, as we use something similar, it also could be that those emails are going to people's junk mail or their spam. And
Right.
that's the other thing, you have to look for it there and move it over.
Yeah. So if it's not spam and you need to sign up again, you could do it on the website, and I will put our website address in the minutes. Right, Myra? Under, the contact information, you could click and just fill out a form to get that done. But I think you will get every single piece of information that the board sends out for every committee and every reminder, and you might not want it, but you could always look at our calendar on our website and just mark down the second Monday at 4:00.
How much longer may we meet on Zoom?
So far, we have through this month, but the alternative then will be a hybrid model. And it's only the board members that really need to be in person. And in our little humble office, we have a setup. It's not perfect. I hear there's sound quality issues. We might beg for RSS's facility for occasionally, but both locations are set up for hybrid meetings, so you won't have to come in. But you're always welcome to join us in person.
I have to tell you, I'm very strict. I personally am very strict with COVID, and there was an article in the New York Times again saying, please be masked.
Right.
And people are very laissez-faire about it and
Mhm.
nonchalant, and people have COVID all over the place.
Absolutely.
So,
And
I was gonna say, I'm less concerned about COVID than
flu and
everything else. I mean, so last week, including myself, every single staff member was sick at some point, and I was having conversations about, when do we stay open if nobody's able to come, if none of the staff is able to come to work. And this is not COVID, it's not the flu, it's just that we haven't been exposed to anything, and and there's little kids running around the building. So I'm just concerned in general.
Yeah, if we do have in-person meetings, if people don't get it or who come in, I want to almost require masks, especially in our office, because it's a very small space.
tiny. It's tiny.
Yeah. Oh, Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Happy holidays too.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays. Let's be in touch, RSS, okay?
Yes,
Yep.
yes, yeah, we'll.
They might just email.
mrabner@mkhs.org is my address. It's very easy.
Oh, wait, say it again. I'm sorry.
mrabner, RABNER, at mjhs.org.
And we will not put that in the minutes, but it is on the recording. Oh, by the way, every one of our meetings is being recorded, as you see.
Yeah.
But we're now putting every meeting on a YouTube channel for the board.
Oh.
So you could, if you happen to, I hope everyone comes, because if not, it's very boring. But if it's only me talking, so, appreciate your participation. But if you do miss a meeting, you could always watch it on YouTube.
Myra, our cats are on YouTube now.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Our cats are famous.
Famous cats. Mhm.
I think animal videos are the most popular on YouTube.
We're gonna bring this one up on YouTube.
Great. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Bye. Happy
Bye,
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay.
New Year. Bye.
Look
Bye-bye.
forward to meeting you. Bye-bye.